dumped in our rivers and all that. But let's talk about impeachment. I know it's in court. We don't need to discuss court matters. But you have been privy to how many? 7, 8 impeachments?
I think 8 impeachments.
8. Name them.
The current president, let me start with the current president. He had an impeachment when he was the Minister for Agriculture. Mm-hmm. But his impeachment turned into vote of confidence. He spoke for 2 hours. And 115 members supported him.
You remember this?
115, I was one of them. But 26 voted to impeach him, of which 18 were ministers.
Wow.
I remember people like Martha Karua who wanted William Ruto out. So why did he survive that impeachment? Mm. Because this man invested in friends from his early time in politics. That day, Speaker Marende was on the chair. Mm. When he was coming in, Boni Khalwale thought this is a walkover, it's a birthday party. Mm. But when William Ruto spoke for 2 hours, he convinced even those who were not his supporters. Then there was Amos Kimunya's story, I better die.
Then resign.
Then resign. Then there was the speaker and the scandals of the Tokyo
embassy
yes. By Aden Kainan. Mm-hmm. Then there was Anwar Guru and Howlin Turi disappeared in thin air after the day of the motion was being moved. We could not trace him. Yeah. And then we had Kaimenyi, who survived by about 7 votes. Yeah, 7 votes. Wow. Then there was Monica Juma, who didn't survive. The House voted in favor of the impeachment.
And she was impeached?
She was impeached. Then we had Linturi, who was impeached the other day. And then we have now the deputy president. Yes. The former deputy president. Because once you know the Senate votes, Senate is a quasi-judicial, it's a trial chamber. Mm. The moment the Senate says you cease,
it's over.
So,
are you saying it's over?
So it's over. So, I mean, from the parliamentary, I'm talking about the parliamentary procedures. So, what is my advice to those, including myself, who in one way or the other might be victims of the constitutional provision of impeachment? Impeachment and removal are constitutional provisions. Yes. And I'm very happy that now the only person who is remaining, and I think one day somebody will exercise that, is to impeach a president. Hmm. So without going into the details, so I think I might write another book. The role of the legislature in impeaching state officers in Kenya. That's a boring book. No, it's going to be very interesting. It will be a book that anybody who wants to join politics and anybody who is a state officer will read. But if you ask me, it's good to invest in friends. And I think the current former deputy president, he invested more in fighting people from his backyard and everywhere, including fighting small people like Dennis Itumbi, Farouk Ibet. You know, when you are big, you don't come to ground zero. Yeah. You stay up. So you're saying he was a bully? No, he invested. Let me use the right word. He invested more in creating enemies than friends. Yeah, yeah. So and that's why you saw, you know, it has never happened in the history of the Kenyan legislature for 282 members to vote in favor of a motion. And go to the Senate, I was following, I think, the lowest charge which the House impeached on, there were 48, 49 senators. Mm-hmm. So that's why I will not play around with members of parliament. And when I'm called to the House, unless it's a cabinet meeting, I go to the House and answer questions.
You don't ignore the summons?
No, but those 282 members, they honestly represent the people of Kenya. The 50 million Kenyans cannot come to the National Assembly or the Senate to speak for themselves. Kenyans elected people in order to protect citizens from bad leadership, from impunity. But for you to survive impeachments, be like William Ruto. In 2000, I think his impeachment was in 2009. His impeachment turned out into a vote of no confidence. In his favor. I mean, the people who voted against the impeachment were 115.
Okay, so you've been tweeting a lot lately. I don't know if you have the tweets already. Monica, do you have the tweets? You've been tweeting a lot lately. I don't African sayings or African...
yeah.
You've been very, I don't know, you've been very philosophical.
Yeah,
Let's take a look at them. Look, here's one of them. Things end, people change, life goes on. What is that? What do you mean?
I mean, ultimately, everything will end. And people will change.
What does that mean?
But that does not mean that that's the end of life.
You say life goes on.
Yeah, you know, most of my African proverbs, they have certain meanings.
Okay.
And they are related to what's happening in the country. So if I want to say something about Jeff Koinange,
yes,
I don't need to be direct.
Right.
I need to look for a proverb that describes your situation.
So this describes Gachagua, or what are you saying here?
No, you can interpret for yourself. There are many players in this country. It can be...
All right, let's look at another one. A cat that dreams of becoming a lion must lose its appetite for rats.
This is one of my best quotes. If you want to climb the ladder and go up,
yes,
you must not fight the small people. You know, a cat usually
goes
eats
after
rats.
Yes.
So if a cat wants to join the club of lions, then it has to have a complete shift in terms of behavior.
And diet.
And you know, the meaning is there, read. To achieve greatness,
you must let go of old habits that could hold you back, could hold back your progress.
So in fact, after I leave here, I have to tweet a proverb. Because Kenyans are waiting for my proverb.
Here's another one from you. It says, a person with too much ambition cannot sleep in peace.
Because you are busy fighting.
Who are you talking about?
They're busy. I'm talking about all those people who are ambitious. Those who are in the private sector. If Jeff Koinange is ambitious, anybody, you'll not have
peace.
Peace.
If you're too ambitious.
Because the whole night you're scheming.
But your boss is ambitious.
He's not.
He is.
Where?
He has always been ambitious. He wanted to be president from way back.
So now he's president. And that's why from 6 to midnight, my boss works for the people of Kenya.
From 6 p.m. or 6
a.m.? In fact, from 6 a.m. in the morning to midnight, he works for the people of Kenya. And let me tell you, he wants to retire peacefully.
Okay, here's another one. I love this. Only a fool tests the depth of a river with both feet.
This was for Rigiji. Yes. I mean, he knew these things were coming.
Yeah.
So he decided to use both his feet. He should have just tested. If he realized, he never thought. If you ask, I am sure. He's still my good buddy. I'll ask him.
Yes.
Or his friends.
Yes.
And I talked to some of his friends. They're telling me they never thought this thing reached where it is, this level.
Yeah.
So what you do in politics or in a country like Kenya, you test with your first left leg, not right leg. If it is the river is very deep, you'll wait for another occasion. The moment you put two, either you are a victim of a crocodile.
Yeah.
Hey, this is another one.
Okay.
What's wrong with you tonight?
I love your saying. I keep reading them. You say, if your only tool is a hammer, you will see every problem as a nail.
You know the guy who uses the hammer? His daily chore he deals with it is the nail.
Yes.
So if he gets annoyed with Jeff Koinange, he will hit you with a hammer. thinking you're a nail.
Okay, here's one more, and then we move on. Say, he who looks for honey must have the courage to face the bees.
Absolutely. This was also for the current situation.
Is this for Ricky G?
Yeah.
Was he looking for honey?
You know, yeah, he was looking for power. He says, I brought 7 million, I don't know from where. Because I was there when I was one of the people who campaigned for him, by the way. Let me confess tonight. Because we didn't want to play chance with any county in the country. So if you want to look for honey, who are the custodians of honey?
The bees.
The bees. So you must find a way and a strategy of how to deal with the bees. So he didn't have a strategy of how to deal with the Senate, how to deal with the National Assembly, with even his own members of parliament from Mount Kenya. I mean, let me ask you. The members of parliament from Mount Kenya are close to about 70. How come you have less than a dozen around you? I mean, you know, people say, oh, the former president, Uhuru Kenyatta, was a good man. He didn't want to impeach William Ruto. As a former majority leader, Uhuru Kenyatta wanted to impeach William Ruto in 2019. 2018, why he had a handshake with Raila. You remember the person who wanted to move the impeachment was James Orengo, only that he was in the Senate. The impeachment of a deputy president starts from the National Assembly. And you can look for my clips that I told them it's not a birthday party. Because William Ruto, I used to keep the record. William Ruto, by 2019, he had 145 members solid.
On his side?
On his side. Nobody could touch him. And if you have 145, then you deny the person who wants to impeach you the two-thirds
majority
threshold.
Yeah.
So that is what I meant. If you want to look for honey, you know the consequence. The owner of honey is the bees.
So Ricky G got stung.
Oh, big time. 282. With about, I think, 30% from his bucket.
So is it done and dusted? I mean, if you were him right now, right? And if he was watching you, would you urge him to resign? What would you tell him right now?
I don't know whether he will listen to my advice, but the advice that I can give to anybody, any leader, whether a governor or a deputy president, who is facing an impeachment process, if you want to have more years in politics or political lifeline, you better make a decision before your matter is concluded at the Senate. Because if you don't do that, then you'll face the fate of my very, very good friend, Governor Sonko, Governor Waititu. Yeah. Once the Senate says you cease to, then there is a ruling of the Supreme Court that you're bad.
Bad for 10 years?
Yeah, 10 years. 10 years is a long period in politics. Yeah. Particularly for somebody the age of the former deputy president.
He'll be in his 70s.
Yeah.
If he wants to run again.
Yeah.
Big mistake?
So let's leave to, you know, that's why our constitution has checks and balance.
And it's working?
It's working very well.
No?
When I watch, I told you, I have colleagues in our neighboring countries.
Yeah.
People are gluing. Ministers have called me.
They're glued.
And yes, I mean, the days when Mzee Moi could sack you in...
at 1 p.m.
In this market before Naivasha, what is it called?
It's called... yeah.
Where you used to buy banana.
Yes.
Or 1 o'clock news.
Yes.
It's no longer. Even there's a Fair Administrative Justice Act during my time, which has my signature before the president assented to. Even here, you can't just sack somebody. You must pass him through a fair administrative procedures. So the Constitution has given checks and balance within the legislature, checks and balance within the the judiciary is not the arbiter. The legislature has oversight. The legislature has the role of appropriation of budget. The legislature has the role of legislating. Then the judiciary has the role of interpreting. And if you look at our Bill of Rights, I can tell you we have a very, very progressive constitution. As a parent, I am so proud of being a Kenyan, and my children are living in a country where there's rule of law, where there are checks and balance, where the weak can be saved by the judiciary.
Yeah, but you know, the Gen Zs would not agree with you, eh?
Yeah, the Gen Zs, was a group of people. They had a good idea, but they were infiltrated by people who wanted to do regime change. And I'll speak to one of your guys here. I think you guys are doing a documentary.
Yes.
That time I was the Minister of Defense. When I speak and tell the people of Kenya how our country was saved by our security agents on the 25th of June, and how some people in government were involved in that coup.
Come on.
I'm telling you.
Are you saying there was an attempted coup?
There was a coup, not attempted.
Oh, come on. Those, where?
I mean, let me tell you.
When Parliament was occupied?
Let me tell you, when Parliament was under threat, many members of Parliament could have died, including the Speaker. When the office of the Chief Justice and the President of the Supreme Court was vandalized, when there was a plan to march to State House and remove a president who is constitutionally, democratically, in a free and fair elections to be elected by the people, to be removed. What do you call that? Is it coup or it's what? What is it? I'm asking you. What do you call that?
Insurrection?
Insurrection is a coup. I mean, you're just speaking from what Donald Trump did. And that's why the U.S. government, Donald Trump today is facing a number of cases. He has been indicted by a committee of...
31 cases.
Yes. Insurrection is another word of coup.
Okay, let's come back.
Yeah.
So it was a coup that day?
25th of June, there was a planned coup. There was a regime change. There was a serious plan of a regime change. Was
Rigathi Gachagua any part of that?
Don't take me that route. But I'm sure, now I'm the Minister for Environment. Ask me about Nairobi River. Ask me about waste management. I'm sure the custodian of intelligence and security.
Yes. But you were Defense CS then.
Yes.
You were Defense CS.
I was a Defense CS. So when I retire, I'll write a book.
No.
Now I'm still in government.
You were just...
Now I'm still under oath of cabinet collective responsibility.
Right.
Yes.
And secrecy oath, whatever.
Yeah.
But still...
But I have told you there was a coup.
There was a coup.
There was a coup.
And things could have gotten very
and that's
ugly.
that's why one of the charges against in the impeachment motion was about national security. Yeah. I mean, you need to read, you have written a book. You need to read between the lines. One of the charges is about infringement on the national security. When you are a member of the National Security Council. Then you must abide by how that national, and the president is the chairman.
Yeah.
Yes.
And when he called out Noordin Haji at one point saying the NIS director is the most useless or whatever he said about it.
There are certain institutions
you don't touch.
in our country. No, you don't disparage them. You don't indict them. Not only national intelligence, security organs, National Intelligence Service, the Kenya Defense Forces, the judiciary, you know?
Yeah.
The office of the DPP, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, but more so, an institution of the status of the National Intelligence Service that not only gives intelligence on how to protect our nation, both internally and externally, but engages with other key global intelligence partners. By the time you disparage, and the person disparaging is not Jeff Koinange, it's not the Minister for Forestry or Climate Change, and
it's the DP.
He's a deputy, he's the second in command. Yeah, it's not small. It has never. I think it has never happened in our history.
Tell me something. When you were sacked as Defense Minister, or CS,
were we sacked or suspended? I think we were sacked.
You were sacked. You were sacked.
Man, we were sacked one afternoon.
One afternoon.
I think the 20 of us, 21 of us.
21.
Yeah. MM survived. My boss.
Your boss.
My boss, MM, survived. He has 9 lives, man.
Yes.
I respect him. But he's a good man. I have a lot of respect.
Madividi
is a very decent leader. I'm not saying it because he's my boss.
Yeah.
I've worked with him. Very composed. I think he must be doing very well in terms of shaping our foreign policy. Yeah. I think the president made a very good choice.
Yeah? So
we were sacked?
Yes.
One evening. It will be part of my many years to come after I retire from government.
Another book.
When I write a book, a chapter.
A chapter.
And after what we went through.
Yes.
So 11 days.
Did you go back to camels?
Have you watched this thing on Netflix called Designated Survivor?
Yeah, I love that. Oh, I love it.
I think MM fits well. I think MM fits well. He was a survivor.
He was a designated survivor.
So the rest of us were crushed.
Yes.
So I went back. 11 days to my camels, and with every day hope that when I see you guys say the president is going to address the nation, waiting that the names that he'll read,
yes,
I'll be one of them. But as a good Muslim, I said, so be it. If Allah wills, and I tweeted. Yeah, we should look for that instead of looking for the Proverbs.
Yes.
I said, it's Allah who gives, and it's Allah who takes.
Okay.
So I think Allah willed that. So 11 days, then how many? I think about 12 of us survived, including the deputy president designate. He calls it 27 days of hell. So then we had to go through another vetting.
Correct.
How much of your wealth has increased? Yeah. You have to do some calculations. Go back to your tax returns.
Yes.
You know, I didn't know anything about carbon credit.
Right.
To go and read and read about environment and forestry.
Yeah.
But I think I did well. So we are back, sworn in.
But you were sworn in with ODM members.
Oh, yes.
Did you ever think you'd be serving in the same cabinet with ODM members?
By the way, let me tell you, the 4 guys who are from ODM are my closest friend. I was happy. Badi served with me as a minority leader.
Oparanya?
Oparanya was our Minister for Planning when I was an assistant minister in the Grand Coalition government. Hassan Joho, I campaigned for him in his by-election, which we lost. After the death of Karisa Maida, Anania Mabosa came in.
Yeah.
He was our candidate, but later in a subsequent general election, he came in. And then both Wandai and Wandai was my chairman of Public Accounts Committee.
So you're all friends?
Very brilliant.
You're all friends?
And I'm telling you, they're very competent. The president has chosen very competent. And then our first ever woman attorney general. That was the best decision the president made. She has grown in the state law office.
She's very quiet.
Very brilliant.
She's very quiet.
Yes, she goes to court. Very effective. I think one of the best women public servants.
Is that right?
In our country, yeah.
All right, let's
There are
take
many who are very, there are many who are, there are many other competent.
She's up there. Let's take a break, come back and talk. You're going to COP29, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're going to Baku?
We're going to Baku, all of us, with the president.
Oh, he's coming?
Yes.
He's traveling again?
No. He's a chairman of heads of state and government of the whole continent in charge of climate change.
You were with him at the United Nations General Assembly?
Yeah.
Unga, you were there with him?
Yes. With the Baba. Yeah.
Is Baba coming to Baku?
Of course, he has to do some campaign. There'll be 50, there'll be more than 40 African
heads of state.
Yeah. And by the way, the chances of Baba are very high. Baba is winning. There are many skeptics around.
Yes.
I was involved in when Amina, my sister, lost by about 4-3 votes.
And she deserved that one.
Yeah, she deserved.
She deserved to win.
I was with President Uhuru Kenyatta in Addis. We campaigned. I think God did not win. Amina fitted the bill, but she didn't win.
So you think Baba has a good chance?
Baba has a good chance.
And you're all going to Baku?
Not all of us. Those who are concerned, Minister of National Treasury, Environment. The president will be there for only 2 days.
And you?
I'll be there for 5 days because of the ministerial, and there are too many negotiations. You'll ask me, Baku this time will be, COP29 will be different. The African continent and also the global south, we want to make a commitment, and we must make sure climate finance is achieved for adaptation, for mitigation, for resilience, resources to be brought to Africa. Our emission is only 4%.
Correct, of the planet.
The guys, the biggest emitters
are
the global north, the big guys. So there's a law called polluter pay principle.
PPP.
Yes, they must pay, and that's why we're investing in carbon market, so that if you go to our forests, they are full of carbon sink.
Carbon, yes.
So
credits.
So then we do what is called carbon credit transfer.
Correct.
And those will help our communities.
Clearly, you have you've read up on your environment stuff, eh?
Because I'll be impeached. My friend, what are you talking about? Those guys in parliament.
They don't joke.
If you don't know your stuff,
you're out.
And they read.
And they read.
So they ask you questions, so you have to be ahead of them. Otherwise, you'll find another 282. And I don't have the money to hire Paul Mite.
Not like Mutuse. He was asked,
no.
Are you with us? And he said, yes, I'm with us.
No, but by the way...
Hold on. Keep tweeting. At Koinange Jeff, at Citizen TV, hashtag it's JK Live. I'm telling you, this man, he's going to be DP one day. Maybe even president, huh?
No, I'm retiring. I told you a long time ago.
Come on. One day.
I told you a long time ago I'm retiring with President Ruto. Inshallah.
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 Jeff Koinange Live takes a break. We'll be back in a moment.